family, welcome back to the Get for Life podcast. It's your girl, Kalita Quinn. And listen, today you are in for a treat because not only are we getting it together, getting our lives together, we are getting live and we also getting it for Jesus. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, is that all right? It's going to have to be, because today we have with us the Dante Pride. He is a rising Christian hip hop star, and we have him with us to share all things journey, inspiration, and talent. Family, let's welcome Dante. Dante, how you doing today, brother? It's so good to have you with us.
I'm great. I'm honored to be here.
Man, we are so blessed to have you. We have been checking you out for a little while now, and know that you are just blazing the waves. Like, you have a lot of amazing music that's out there in terms of Christian hip hop, and we're just excited to see you.
It is glory to God, for real. I'm excited. I believe this year is going to be a phenomenal year, and I just can't wait. I can't wait to see what God got in store, for real.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we're going to get right into it. I want to know all about you. I want to know inspiration. I want to know, how in the world did you get to this moment? Like, you are such a phenomenal artist.
Wow,
I'll tell you, Christian hip hop is one of those things that a lot of times folks,
you want to say corny, go on.
I mean, like, you feel me, right? Like, because it's one of those things where, like, people are doing it, but it's not all that it could be. They're not exercising all of their gifts to their full potential, right? But you, brother, are doing that. So how did you get started?
A lot of people, like, they find their purpose later in life and this and that. Believe it or not, I started writing Christian hip hop music in the second grade.
Wow.
I was in the second grade. My second grade teacher actually gave me a Christian hip hop CD.
Wow.
I used to write on the back of my graded tests and this and that. And I've been doing this now for 11 years.
Oh my goodness.
11 years. I remember I actually hit the stage for the first time when I was 12, but actually, like, taking it serious. I've been doing this for 11 years. I had an uncle that was a youth pastor.
Okay.
He's now a head pastor of a church over in Decatur, and he was a Christian hip hop head. And I always used to be in the back of his truck, like, what is he listening to? Did he just say Jesus and this and that? And so it really just intrigued me. So I remember I had put my pops on. My pops started listening to Christian hip hop. So really, that's how I started.
Wow, that is amazing. And let me tell you, it shows, because what kind of teacher was it? Was it an English teacher?
So I was in the second grade. So it was just my second grade teacher.
Okay.
And she literally came up to me and handed me a Christian hip hop CD. She knew I always used to be writing something in the journal. I don't know if she actually seen something.
So she said, let me kind of fine tune this and get it going the right way.
Yes.
Well, look, that's great. And I say it shows because not only do you have flow, not only do you have dynamics, brother, your content is off the charts. Wow. Because that's one of the things that, a lot of rap that's going on right now, and just hip hop in general, it's mumble, it's mumble based. You don't understand what people are saying. And then when you do understand, there's no message there. Exactly. So that's one of the things I really enjoy about your music. Now, what places do you draw from in order to be able to be inspired by what to write?
Really, it's so crazy. Sometimes God will literally have me write about stuff that I'm either sitting in the middle of and haven't made it out yet. And I remember once I was frustrated at God. I'm like, God, you're going to have me write a song called Overflow. And my bank account is in the negative right now.
Wow.
And literally, I was so mad. I was like, man, this song is crazy, this and that. But I was like, hold up, wait. This don't align up with my situation. Yeah. And I remember God telling me, he was like, D, as you're writing this song, I'm literally bringing you out of your situation. And I believe a lot of times, God, he petty sometimes, because what he'll do with me, he'll be like, okay, since I can't get you to just reverse the curse by speaking it, I'm going to get you to rap it.
Look.
And literally, I'll look back, and half of the songs that I've written, a lot of times I won't even remember, like, what my thought process was when I was writing this song. Like, I would literally look back at a song and be like, what was you thinking when you wrote this? And so God is hilarious. So no, we got a...
Y'all have an interesting relationship. Well, look, that is outstanding, because you're absolutely right. And, you look at a lot of things, like a lot of music, people don't realize that your words have power.
It does.
That what you repeat has power.
Exactly.
Right? And so, folks that are out here listening to all of these things that are going on, and, it's some... I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there. It's some demonic vibes in some of the music that's out there. Like when people are talking about killing each other and killing their friends and committing suicide.
But you wanna know the crazy thing about it is?
What's that?
It's so many rappers and stuff that talk about this stuff. They talk about they degrade women and this and that. Half of these folks are married with families at home, but they feeding you this because that's what sells.
Yeah.
And now they got you heartbroken and calling women out of their names and stuff, and they're at home actually going home to a home cooked meal from their lovely
to stability.
Wife.
Exactly. But they got you out here in your mind, like, hey, you know, I'm out here living a life with 3 and 4 women. Yeah. So what is it about you that allows you to not get caught up in that? Because you know, I've listened to a lot of your music in particular. There's one video that you have where, you know, you're walking down a hallway, it's like a school vibe, and you know, you even from an early age, you're talking like your friends are talking about temptation and all this stuff, and your lyrics are like, no, I'm not even, you know, I'm not checking for her. Yeah, shorty may be bad, but I'm not checking for her. What is it about you that kind of, you know, makes you be able to stand apart from that?
I've always tried to be somebody that I was not. I couldn't really find that balance. Like, how can I be blended with the culture and also still represent Christ? And I really couldn't find it. So I would really find myself just kind of being a chameleon for real. Like I would blend in with one crowd. Then when I get around the church people. So I mean, for me, what keeps me grounded, I want to be that person that I wish I would have had. I've had a lot of people that kind of embraced me or whatnot and showed me the way. Like it's a group called Unanimous, and they used to, you know, kind of guide me and lead me. And when I tell you, I've learned so much from them, but I was like, yo, like I have to be that Dante to somebody else. So all I visualize myself, I don't even see myself how I am now. I see myself as what I'm going to be. And I believe if you just focus on that, and I stick to it. I'm like, yo, I don't want to switch up. I'm a Christian hip hop artist. I don't try to be like, yo, like I'm just an inspirational rapper, this and that. If I want to go make clean music, I can go make clean music. But I'm like, yo, I want to stick to this topic. I want to show the world Jesus Christ. And when you know your why, when you know your why you're doing it, I believe that right there helps you stick to the plan.
I love that. I love your conviction. I love your energy. I love that you know that you were created for this season. You know, I was going back and I was even sharing earlier this season, we had your beautiful wife on with us. And I was sharing with her earlier that, you know, I was sharing with her that there was a can I turn up in your church? Right? And in the very beginning of that video, there's a part where you say, I'll let you tell us. What do you say?
And is that in the song or is it just at the beginning of the video?
It's just as you're getting out of bed.
I said I had a dream. I had a dream that basically we bridged the gap.
Exactly. We bridged the gap. And I love that. Like immediately that resonated with me because that's totally how I see you. You know, I see you as the bridge for the next generation. I see you as the bridge even for, you know, folks who are who know what hip hop really is supposed to be like, right? But like you said, because it's corny, they're not interested in listening to it from a Christian aspect. So kudos to you, man. I mean, you're doing a great work, and I feel like the Lord is pleased from a little brother standpoint. You're killing the game, man.
Thank you so much.
So earlier you mentioned that, you know, all of these inspirations, right? Your teacher was very instrumental, but then you also put some of your family members onto to Christian hip hop. Have you had any instances where, you know, folks maybe didn't receive it so well at first? Yes,
I've had plenty of times where I'm like, yo, like, I'm about to quit. Like, you know, like, God, can I not do this? Because a lot of people, they want the platform. But a lot of people, they want the platform, but in order to sit on the platform and last, you have to be the first one at the altar.
You better talk about it.
And a lot of people don't realize that, like, literally everybody is watching your every move. And in this society we live in a society of cancel culture. So everybody, even new believers, let's just say somebody just got saved yesterday, they can see somebody make a mistake or do the wrong thing, and all of a sudden they like, I told you this Jesus of yours wasn't real, or these church folk ain't nothing. And people don't realize they're human. You say church people, but if you take the church away from it, it's just people. And so yes, I definitely have. I've had those times where I'm like, yo, I'm done. Can I turn up in your church? Actually came from a place where I was at a church. And I was going to support a concert. Somebody walked up to me and said, yo, man, take your hat off and get out. And literally nobody at the concert was really standing up or anything. I think I was standing up, and I'm like, I'm standing up trying to worship, and
You worried about my hat.
You worried about my hat. And so I went home. I remember I was crushed. And matter of fact, I had a show that night. And I remember after the show, I went home. I was crushed. I was like, God, like, why? Like, why does it matter? Do you really care about this?
Right.
And I remember I made a Facebook post, not bashing the church or anything. I just kind of like, what do you guys think? What are you guys' opinion on hats in church and this and that? And when I tell you, people was at my neck and everything. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm not with the back and forth on social media and this and that. I was like, I'm gonna make a song about it.
Yeah.
When I made a song about it, when I tell you I got drugged, I had people in my inbox that was like, yo, like, you a false prophet.
Oh,
this
my
is not
goodness.
of God. And especially, you know, I'm a PK. I'm a pastor's kid.
Ooh.
And
So you got a double dose.
Double dose. So it was so many people that were even coming to my father like, what is this that your son was doing? And I really believe at that point, I really just took a turn because that's when I began to break tradition.
Yeah.
And it's something that's I've been rooted in for a long time. I grew up Baptist, so.
Yeah, that had to be hard for for them because parents have these ideas, and especially whenever you mix ministry with it, right? Because I'm like, there's this whole persona, and sometimes that gets diluted by other people's perceptions and their traditions, and not really not really with the heart of God.
Exactly.
And so whenever you have somebody who's on fire and their energy is coming in hands raised and they're trying to worship, you want to be careful with that.
Exactly.
Man, I can recall times in my life where it was the same situation, and I hate that we do that to our young people, especially when you can tell God has put something amazing in them, and you can tell like there's something about them that draws a crowd that the little churches, and I mean no disrespect to any of them because we all grew up in them, right?
Yeah.
We all had to come through the hymn way, but times are changing, and so now you have to be careful because they want to bop to something. Yeah. So you rather than bop with Jesus.
Exactly. A lot of people don't realize it's just music. You go to a traditional African-American church, having that music sound like a little dab of R&B and blues.
Yeah.
You go to a Caucasian church, have that music sound like rock gospel or country gospel. But then when it comes to hip hop, we demonize it because I believe the enemy has perverted it so much. And in reality, it's just a genre of music.
Yeah.
We're talking about Jesus, it got a beat and this and that to it, but at the end of the day, it's pointing back up to the Father. So
yeah, man, and that, like I said before, that's what I love, like, cause your stuff hits so hard. But then when you listen, it's content. It's talking about, it's talking about your relationship with Christ. It's talking about, your worship, not just, I'm trying to praise on top of everything.
Yeah.
Like there's some substance there. It seems like you done been through some things.
Yes, man.
So God bless you, and I mean when did you decide that I'm going to take this platform that I have and I am going to conscientiously use my gift and talent to glorify God? When did you decide that?
I really feel like I just felt a tug on my generation. Like this generation is so fragile. So it's kind of like you said, different comments and stuff like that, like the hats in church and stuff like that. Like if it was one of my homies in the street or something, they would have never came back to church.
Right.
And it was kind of like Dante, like they need you. Like God was like, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry at this point. And what a lot of people got to realize, like God will move on. So if you're not ready, God don't mind using that next person. So it was kind of like one of the things like D. Come on. And I believe a lot of times that's how people sometimes end up in an early grave as well. Because God is like, yo, like, I got an appointed time where I need you to step up. And if you're not going to do it, what are you here for? And so I just really believe I felt that tug, and God was like, yo, like, you got to make some shake in this right now.
Well, look, I for one am thankful that you answered your tug, brother. I'm thankful that you were in tune with him. And, I can really see your music really resonating with folks who wouldn't listen to Christian music otherwise, who may not know Christ in any other capacity. There's a quote that says, you may be the only Christ that somebody gets to see.
That's it.
And like that, Christ is in different. He's one God, and he's always who he is, but he created all of us. Yeah. And so there are ways like you may think that this person, you may think that they're off limits to God. Yeah. But God loves all of us, and he knows what he's put in each and every one of us. And so, by you being comfortable and confident in that, I can only imagine the folks that you are just liberating and giving their freedom to.
Wow.
Let me ask you, who is your biggest inspiration?
I gotta say, and this is recently probably changed. For one, I'm gonna say this: my wife.
Oh.
I got to say this.
Oh my goodness, love him, right?
When I tell you, my wife literally is probably one of the, and I'm trying not to get, I don't know why I'm getting emotional right now, but my wife is literally one of, I think I'm gonna be good. they hold back. So my wife is literally one of the hardest go-getters I've ever seen. Like, she has that mindset, like, yo, I'm finna make it happen. Like, it's gonna happen. And when I tell you, when I see her working or whatnot, and I'm kind of slouching, it just encourages me, like, dude, you gotta get in your bag, dude. Like, and my wife, literally, when I tell you, she is one of my biggest inspirations. And next to my wife has to be Pastor Mike Todd.
Okay.
Mike Todd, because his faith is crazy. He got a book called Crazy Faith.
Yes.
And this dude, literally, he said something that stuck with me. We read all about Noah's and David's and everything in the Bible. And it's kind of like, and God, I believe God actually talks about them. You know what I'm saying? God did talk about them. God talked about David all the time.
Yeah.
And my thing is, Mike Todd said, I want to be that one that God talks about.
Ooh,
and so I want God to be like, yo, like, I need you to have that faith like Dante Pride.
Yeah.
And that would mean the world to me if people could even visualize me as that, you know?
Wow.
And so Mike Todd, he definitely is my biggest inspiration.
That's huge. Look, that is super, super huge. And just love from the standpoint of, you know, because you don't hear that, especially in this generation where marriage, you know, it's not something that folks are just glorifying. Like, you know, you have an old school mentality of marriage. You being a young man, you and Loreal, you know, like, y'all are just a phenomenal example, a couple to watch, you know, in all regards. And so when you can tell, like, God has not only worked with you individually, and then you come together as one, as a unit, you guys are gonna be unstoppable.
Wow.
Yeah.
She bring that favor. Like, I'm not too prideful to say that I know a lot of places that I've been, a lot of places I've performed and everything. Like, a lot of opportunities that I've had in general has been because I've been connected. I'm connected to my wife.
Yeah.
And so I'm just grateful for that, for real.
That's beautiful.
And we made a decision, like, yo, like, so many marriages and stuff I believe fail because they're always thinking about a plan B.
Yeah.
And when you always thinking about a plan B, you 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Yeah.
And so I already made the decision, like, yo, like, we may have all the disagreements and stuff, but hey, we finna talk this thing out. I ain't going nowhere. Like, we in this thing, so.
Absolutely. Look, we rooting for y'all. Absolutely. I mean, because like what God has put together, let nobody put us under. Amen.
Come on.
So listen, let me ask you this, because you mentioned earlier that, you know, Pastor Mike Todd, you know, Crazy Faith. What, and he has, you know, some, like, if you just read that book, you feel like highlighting every page, you know, is one of those. What is some of the best advice you've ever received, you know, just personally or even in terms of perfecting your craft?
So one thing I've learned advice-wise is hold your tongue. It's a time to speak and it's a time to be quiet. And a lot of times, like, I'm real transparent. So I used to like to vent. I used to like to talk and this and that. But this is the thing. This is what a lot of people don't realize. And this is what God told me. And I try to tell everybody this. The enemy cannot read your mind. He can't read your mind. You want to know what he looks at? He looks for you he plants the seed in your mind, and his job is for you to speak it out. So what he's looking for you to speak it out, and he's looking at your body language.
That's good.
Because those two things shows you whatever he's downloading in your mind is triggering you. And so the thing is, I learned that it confuses the enemy when he's downloading all type of hell inside of your mind, and the language of heaven is what's being released out of your mouth. And so what I've had to learn is, like, dude, you can't tell everybody your vision, and not because somebody can rob them and this and that, because I believe what God has for me is for me.
Amen.
But at the end of the day, that person can be used without even knowing it to tear your vision down. And now you're second guessing what God has told you to do just because they don't get it. And God hadn't given it to them, God gave it to you.
Come on now. Look, brother, you talking real right. You talking real right for somebody with a ball cap on. But it's so crazy that people may miss that message, you know, just in judging from the outer appearance. And that's not who we call to be anyway. But that is, you know, I pray that helped and blessed somebody right there, because that was a mouthful.
Wow.
I think you really just released something in that. What is the hardest lesson you've had to learn?
What is the hardest lesson Dante Pride had to learn? And I feel like it really all ties back into what I just said too. I feel like I get so excited. stop expecting you from other people. And I seen this quote a few years back.
Okay.
And that will save you from a lot of heartbreak because you go to people with a pure motive, a pure heart.
Yes.
In reality, you may have some people that are low key envying on you.
Yeah.
And then you also may have some people that are low key jealous of you.
Yeah.
And the jealousy, I try to stay away from jealous people because they can be dangerous.
Yeah.
Without even knowing it. You know what I'm saying? So I believe quit expecting you from other people. When you stop doing that, I believe you will have more of a firm and solid foundation. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Look, so what is it that Dante Pride wants to be known for outside of, look, I want to have that Dante Pride kind of faith, or I want to be the one that God talks about. Is that does that sum it up in and of itself, or when folks look at you, like, is there something that you hope that they see?
So that really sums it up. I just want people to be like, yo, like Dante literally, he has crazy faith and he never gave up. Yeah. Half the time why people don't succeed when they fall or whatnot is because they don't get back up. All you gotta do is get back up. God is not a man that he should lie. So if he, like I said, if he told you to do something, if he's gave you the vision, he's gonna make sure that you're equipped for it. He qualifies the unqualified. And so I just really believe that if you keep going, if God told you to do it, and if you stop, I believe that's a slap in the face to God.
Wow.
Because he's like, why would you stop something that I told you to do just because it don't look like how you envisioned it? And so I just want to be that guy that they like, Dante obeys God and he gives God his full yes. So
that's phenomenal. Like that is so dope. And I feel like you are well on your way to becoming that young man, that person, that spirit. Listen, what else do you have coming down the line? Like, what can we expect from Dante Pride? Do you have any events coming up? Do you have, I heard a little birdie say something about an amphitheater.
Yeah, so the amphitheater, I am the host of the amphitheater this year on May 15th.
Okay.
I'll be hosting, I want to say it's called Soulful Sunday.
Nice.
They got a lot of greats that's on there. They got Kelvin Wooten, who also produces for a lot of my stuff.
Yeah.
That man is literally the GOAT. And he's another inspiration as well, so shout out to Kelvin.
Yeah.
You got Kelvin, I think he's bringing Deacon Sue. You got artists like Trans Lee, so it's gonna be phenomenal. I'm just honored to be able to host alongside with Melody Hope.
Okay.
And so it's gonna be amazing. And as far as what I have coming up, I got a single that's dropping next month. I can't wait. Me and my wife just released a worship trap type song, and that was beautiful.
Look,
but we can get back ratchet.
Okay, before you get back ratchet, let me tell you about Available, because that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, Available.
Oh my goodness, like that song has blessed me so tremendously. Not only, like when I first heard it, automatically, you gon' jam to it. But then when you sit there and you sit in it and you listen to the words and you talk about, how you just like, how God needs your yes. And you need to, it's basically what you've said here, making yourself available so that he doesn't move on to the next vessel. It is such an inspiration, man.
Wow.
Like you guys, y'all keep rocking. Y'all keep doing amazing things. We'll be looking for you on May 15th. Do you want to drop your handle so that the people know how to find you?
Y'all can follow me on IG at I am Dante Pride. I am Dante Pride. Facebook, Dante Pride, all that. I don't do Snapchat. I'm trying to get into TikTok.
Look, Loreal will help you.
It's too many social media. So.
Yeah. Well, good deal. We are so excited that you've been here. We have been so glad to have you. Look, you're welcome back anytime. And we will be on the lookout for more great music and more amazing things from Dante Pride. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.